record?
Yeah.
Hello there, it's David Shweki again in another chapter of Likutei Moharan from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. We're at the Kalbach Shul. It's June 5th, 2012, and I'd like to welcome everybody here, the big crowds. And I'd like to thank also everyone here at the Kalbach Shul, Rabbi Naftali Shitron. Boy, am I tired. 9 hours of work, 2 hours on the train, and then giving the class. So sorry, I'm a little tired sometimes. I'd like to thank Rabbi Citron, Julie Borla, Shayellen, and everybody here at the Kalbach Shul. Of course, Peter, make everything going, and everybody here. So we're going to do on a level of 1 to 10. This is, I would say, a 9 or a 10 for scariness in Rabbi Nachman's Torah. There are some scarier ones. This is one of the scarier ones up there. I would rate it like an 8 or a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. This Torah is in the middle of a very large Torah. Rabbi Nachman would do these very long Torahs, and in between, he would take us on little trips within this big Torah, and then at the end would wrap it all up from the beginning. 90% of what I'm going to say is from Rab Nosson Maimon, who has this whole Likutei Moharan on audio. You can email me, I'll show you where to get it. Email me at excitingjudaism@gmail. So let's start this Torah. This lesson is very special because it comes directly from Rabbi Nachman's manuscripts. I would say about 10 to 15% of all the whole Likutei Moharan is from Rabbi Nachman's original hand, and about 80% or so is from Rab Nosson, who heard it from Rab Nachman, and then the other 5 or 10% is from different students who told Rab Nosson, Rabbi Natan, the Torahs. So this was said in the year 1805, and they don't know exactly when it was said, but this lesson is long and it was said in different stages. So there's a lot of different things here. So put on your seatbelts, get your travel insurance. Let's go for a ride. So here we go. We're in Likutei Moharan 57, and then within that chapter we're in number 5 and number 6. This is Likutei Moharan Book 1, and you can get these online from Breslov Research Institute. They're great books, Hebrew, English. Best stuff in the world. You have to remember that when you buy these Likutei Moharans, you can't understand everything. The only way I survived is that whatever I didn't understand, I kept going. If you try to break your head over stuff you don't understand, you're going to put the book down and say, this is not for me. But if you skip stuff that you don't understand, you're going to survive it. And when you find stuff that you do understand, you're going to love it. So you build slowly what you understand, and then you can go back to stuff you didn't understand. That's the only way I survived. Keeping on learning this beautiful sefer. Okay, here we go. It's very interesting stuff. I'll just say a little Hebrew to start it off. Ki al yedei hatzom oevav noflim lefanav. Through a person fasting, his enemies fall before him. Because through the anger that stems from the liver, the aspect of the liver is angry, the great accuser is aroused. So it's a lot of stuff here. And let's start. We'll just start to Rabbi Nachman always starts off with a lot of stuff, a lot of information in one package. And as we go through the lesson, peels it apart and slowly explains everything in the lesson. So, by fasting, a person's enemies fall before him. Period. Okay, first idea. Second idea, because through the anger that stems from the liver, okay, that's the second idea. Anger comes from the liver, which is an aspect of the liver is angry, which is a concept that is going to open up. The great accuser is aroused, which is the guy upstairs who makes all the trouble, or the guy downstairs who makes all the trouble. Okay, So, let's go into a little of the, let's go a little bit further and then we'll go into commentary. The great accuser is Esav, Edom, who is connected to the liver. He is called the red one, but he is the aspect of the liver, which is full of blood. Okay, so let's pull this apart a little bit. By fasting, a person's enemies fall before him. Okay, because through the anger comes from the liver. So let's explain what Rabbi Nachman says. So the most effective way of repenting for doing something bad is through fasting. It has the power to subdue one's enemies. That's why on Shabbat, eating can achieve the same results. Just like on Purim, we turn to God through happiness and eating, and that's why Yom Kippurim we fast. So that's an interesting correlation there. Now we're going to explain what the liver has to do with this Torah. The liver, which is the largest organ in the body, fills two important roles. It produces and regulates chemicals for the body's needs, and it neutralizes poisons and waste products. After food has been partially digested, it enters the intestinal tract. From there, the nutrients are transferred into the bloodstream. The blood, this is like what, Biology 101? Is this what this is? The blood passes through the liver and its filtering system before it is returned to the heart and lungs. It is important for our lesson to note that the liver purifies the blood before it is sent to the heart. It says record. Keeps going. Thank you. To accommodate the production of new chemicals, the liver takes the nutrients and purifies them to make them compatible with the body. It manufactures proteins and processes carbohydrates, sugar, and starches by converting them into glucose to supply energy to the body. The liver processes fats and waste products of the blood, and its enzymes also cleanse the blood from bacteria and neutralize poisons that have entered the body. As the liver interacts mainly with the blood system, its fluid color is represented in the holy writings as red. The liver is called kaved in Hebrew, which means heavy or weighty. This is because the liver purifies blood that is weighted with unnecessary substances. The Talmud teaches that the liver is full of blood. The liver is angry. It's just doing a lot of stuff. When you're overworked at work, you feel very angry and very overwhelmed. The liver is always in this state. Situated in what might be called the crossroads of the blood system, the liver's task is a weighty one indeed. Its proper functioning is extremely important, and illness of the liver has the potential to affect the health of the entire body. Understanding the liver's functioning will enable us to understand how fasting and not feeding the liver counters adversity, which is why Shabbat eating can affect the same outcome. Okay, so basically 101, we just give a general overview of what the liver does in relation to this Torah of Rabbi Nachman. Okay. Everything physical has its counterpart in the spiritual realm. So the liver is attached to anger, and the spiritual source of anger is related to Jacob's brother Esav, who was very angry at Jacob for taking the birthright, and he wanted to kill him. And everything red is related to Jacob's brother Esav. He had red hair, which is not bad, but he liked red soup. In Syrian we call it ades, and we still eat it today, but it's yellow. And we don't eat it on Shabbos because it has to do. We have red lentils also, but the Sephardim or the Syrians don't eat this red soup that was used for mourners. We still eat it today regularly, but we don't have it on Shabbos because it's only for mourners. So it's that old, the tradition of this red soup. And Esav was also called Edom, just like Yaakov was called Yisrael. So everything's going to connect. So we have the liver, anger, Esav, Edom. Okay. Okay, now we're going to continue through the class. From this highest accuser, accusers are aroused that devolve below and oppress a person who gets angry. So, when a person gets angry, he thinks he's in control, that he's having control on people, he's manipulating people, and he's getting a charge out of it. Right? He's upset about something, he's getting a charge. His blood is boiling, and it's like a endorphin rush of like just this energy. So a person would think, oh, I'm just doing it for myself. No, according to Kabbalah, when person gets angry, you set off the guy upstairs to get angry also. You think you're getting angry by just getting angry at something or your boss, you're now causing this energy to go out, and people are picking up on this anger. So there's a guy upstairs who's now that you're connecting to, who's the source of anger. He's saying, oh, I have a new friend. I have someone that wants to get angry. So now I'm going to tap into him and I'm going to work through him. Call it bad energy, karma, whatever you want to call it. And Nachman gets into it now. Okay, let's just look at the commentary. Also, the red color was very big in the Roman Empire. If you watch these movies, they always have red capes and beautiful tapestries. Everything was red, which was based on Esav and on blood. So it's related to Esav also. So the Roman Empire spilt the most blood in history, more than the Nazis even. Okay, so let's go on in the development of anger. From this highest accuser, accusers are aroused that devolve below and oppress a person who gets angry. So a person gets angry, he's now tapping into the guy where anger comes from, the source of anger, and the source of anger is now sending a lot of stuff on this person. So now let's continue. They rule over him and are not afraid of him, since because of the anger he appears to them to be an animal, who is an aspect of, as it says in the Psalms, likened to beasts who are cut off. Okay, so now when a person gets angry, the energy that he's channeling now, according to Rabbi Nachman, is animals now are not afraid of this person.